Welcome to No Filter, everyone. I didn't feel correct in commencing with our show in the normal manner before saying a few words about the loss, the sad, sad loss of Chadwick Boseman. It would be unethical for me to go forward and just not make a mention of it. So I'd like to say, in the short time that I got to know Chadwick Boseman, he was a humble being, selfless, graceful, dignified, and so respectful. And I know the whole world is grieving, and I know the whole world is in shock. And I know our culture is grieving. So before we commence, I'd like to say, Chadwick Boseman, may you rest with the highest. You will be forever in our memories. And what you've achieved, you left a huge legacy at your young age. And I'm truly blessed for the time that I got to know you. A true gentleman you were. Rest in peace. Welcome to No Filter. I'm not going to say the episode number because I might have get it wrong. So it's either 23 or 24. But today's guest, I'm going to say his name right off the bat. Today's guest is Chris Rock. Actor, writer, producer, director. And after working as a stand-up comedian and appearing in supporting roles, Chris came to a wider prominence as a cast member of Saturday Night Live in the early 1990s. He's now one of the most in-demand comedians in the universe. Has two beautiful daughters, Lola and Zara. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my beautiful and amazing guest for today, Chris Rock.
Hey, Naomi.
Hi, Chris. Oh, I haven't seen you for a while. Well, you look well.
Fashion Week. When did we hang out? We hung out something. We were at some party in London.
Oh, yes.
Around.
It was the BAFTAs. It was the BAFTA night.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I was on tour. So I don't know why I was in London, but we hung out. So there you go. It's last time, I think.
So tell me, what have you been doing? Wait, I'm going to start. Before I even start that, I'm trying to remember, where did we first meet?
We first met, I think, didn't you work at the coffee shop for a minute in Union Square?
You used to work there?
No, I didn't work there, but I used to hang out there, and you used to date a friend of mine.
On Union Square?
Yeah, I think you used to date this guy, Brian or something. I forget. Man, it's so long ago. He used to hang out with Kadeem.
I didn't date Brian. Brian was family.
Okay.
Anyway. He was best friends with, remember Malcolm Jamal Warner from Cosby Show?
Right.
Yeah. But he was, Kadeem shared him with Malcolm. They were, he didn't have a good ending, Chris. Poor Brian.
Oh,
he
really?
Passed away young.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, back all lusting for you. We all knew you were a supermodel to us even then.
Oh, bless your heart. I was just like, I wanted just to do it, travel and work and see the world and give this gig a go.
Woo! Even back then. You were killing.
But I tell you what, I remember you. I remember you with Mike Tyson.
Yes.
And I remember you, it was The World, that club in the East Village. And I think it was Halloween night because all you had was a wig on to hear, like a bob, and the rest of you was normal. And it was quite late, and I came in there with my friend Jimmy Paul, and I was like, oh, hi, Chris, and you kind of were leaving. But I do remember you with Mike, too.
Yes, we did hang out, me, you, Mike, I remember. I think Mike pushed you out of a moving car one night. That was
Did
the
he? Oh, sure it wasn't me that pushed him.
first.
That's if I even got in the car with him. He wasn't the best driver, Chris.
I think you gave somebody a number. He lost his head. That's odd, right?
Oh. It's a good thing we're all grown-ups today and we're family. And I actually can't wait for his fight next month. I'm so looking forward to seeing it.
Yes, my whole life I've been lusting for you, and I've been like next to the guy. So so much better. She's with Mike Tyson. I would treat her so much better. She's with Eddie Murphy. Treat her so much better. Like it's always like some fucking guy that's way more successful than me abusing.
But wait a minute. I was just like,
I would treat
it
her
wasn't about success.
better.
It was just like, you know.
If she was that's me. My whole life. That's my story with you.
So wait. Okay.
Like, 2 million, a million, but someday.
Are you still friendly with Mike? You still speak to him?
I spoke to him. Wow, about 3 weeks ago. I mean, it was some weird Zoom call, and we were just going over old times. And yeah, he's sweet.
He's good. I spoke to him not that long ago, and really happy for him. And just it's like family in a way.
Yeah. It's like
it's just nice to see him blossom.
We've all survived. We all.
Those were fun times in New York, though. Those were fun. Can never go back on those. Can I ask you, Chris, your childhood?
Anything.
I loved Everybody Hates Chris. It was like I watched it, downloaded it, watched it, recorded it, whatever I used to have to do before that you could download to see it. Even I believe I have DVDs of the seasons. Was your child life like very close to Everybody Hates Chris?
Yeah, especially first couple of seasons. Yeah. I came from a very loving home, and my school experience was very complicated and racial. So, yeah, it was.
Racial in what way?
In the way, in the only way it can be.
Yeah, school is tough.
School is tough, but
yes.
From a lot of love, and I had my neighborhood was, we were poor, but it was all fun and love.
And discipline.
And lots of discipline. And that's why I'm here today.
Yeah.
That's why I'm both here today. We got some discipline.
Well, that's like, I definitely identify with the discipline, because I would get the strap if I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, or if I wasn't home when I was supposed to be home.
Yeah, I definitely would get the strap or the hand or the brush or whatever.
Yes, grateful for those times, actually. Those are the times I feel like have gotten me through this whole quarantine, is things that my grandmother and mother and family instilled in me. Those are the things I kind of leant back on.
Yeah. The quarantine, in a weird way, it's like a grade on your whole, on all your decisions in life. It's like a partial grade. I don't know. It's like the Three Little Pigs.
Yeah.
Did you build a house of straw?
They could blow down.
Bricks. It's like, I built a brick house. Okay, I can ride this couple of years out. But, Well,
was there anything you left out of the show?
Is there anything I left out of the show? Not really. I guess some of the bullying and stuff was definitely than we put in a comedy on a kid show, and some of the behavior I it's definitely toned down, because I even had teachers say horrible things.
Really?
But so some of that stuff got toned down, but the show's pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
What was I going to say to you? When you were growing up, did you really feel this sense inside of you for comedy? How did that come about?
I don't know. When I was growing up, I'll say this: I was never a good athlete. I wasn't like a handsome, cute kid, like girls didn't like me or whatever, but I could be funny. So it was kind of the only thing I was ever good at. And
What age were you?
Huh?
What age?
Even when I was like 7, I was like, oh, when I talk a certain way, people laugh. Let me talk this way as much as possible. And when I think a certain way, people laugh. So it was kind of like, yeah, just at an early age, I realized this is what people like about me. You know what I mean? Like, you realized you were beautiful at some point. You're like,
I never have. That's
I
not
have
true.
a superpower. Men seem to act a certain way when I wear my hair a certain way or I have a skirt a certain
So
way.
there was a ring around you of women.
No, that's still never happened. But
Oh, Chris, please. I've seen outside your back doors on your shows. They're lining up around the corner.
nobody,
Women, everybody. All your friends.
nobody wants me, Naomi. You know, one person's very stable is another person's bored to death. So
Balance is very, very important
that
to find.
balance is very important. So
It is.
I'm very very single, Naomi. What are you doing today? Let's do it. Finally.
Well, I'm a little far from you. I'm a little far from Chicago.
I mean, for
I'll
you,
hang out with you.
I would get the jet for you, Naomi.
We could go grab Tracy. Oh, we got so many great mutual friends, Chris.
Yes, we
Some
do.
that we've lost recently, Andre.
Yes.
I mean, we've got so many, and it's really, for me, I'm so proud to see all of us at this time where we are in our lives doing our thing and supporting each other too. I mean, you coming on for me today. Thank you for supporting me.
Oh,
Thank
come
you
on.
so much.
Anything. Did I ever say
Listen,
no to
when
Naomi
you were,
Campbell? Who?
I mean, did you know that I auditioned for New Jack City with Mario Van Peebles?
Really?
I was so bad.
Was it the casting couch?
I was so bad. I remember where the audition was at Tribeca, in Tribeca 375 Greenwich.
Yes.
That's where the audition was. I don't know why I remember that, but I just do.
The
No,
old
he was
man.
very sweet, Mario, very respectful. I guess, I mean, I didn't know all about that film, but it really, your role in that, you were amazing in that film.
Thank you.
You were amazing. And it was like, so then we saw you go, everyone's thinking you're going to bust out with a joke, but I mean, tell me about that role and preparing for it, and what's the difference of preparing when you're to stand up to motion picture?
I mean, it's weird. When I was doing New Jack City, it was such an innocent time in my life. I mean, I was living at home, still living with my parents. And it was like the middle of like the crack epidemic. So I didn't have to go far to see characters like that. Mm-hmm. I was just basically doing guys from my block. And unfortunately, friends of mine I had a bunch of friends get hooked on crack, like just wiped out. So, yeah, I was kind of just doing them, you know. And luckily for me, I never got caught up in it. You know, I got my friends doing crack. I got friends just getting out of jail, like did their 20 years, their minimum, the mandatory minimum, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Just getting out of jail now, a couple of cats. And fortunately for me, the closest I got to like being a crackhead was like New Jack City.
Well, you were phenomenal in that role.
Yeah. When I look at my life, it's like, you ever see those pictures of a tornado and the whole neighborhood's destroyed and there's one house untouched? Mm-hmm. That's me.
Wow.
just in the middle of a tornado. Hey.
So you survived all of that around you.
Yeah, I survived.
No, and it's not an easy fate. And to see people that you love and grew up with, that must have been extremely difficult.
Yeah. I've been very fortunate.
Because you can't save them unless they want to take care of themselves.
Friends and family, and yeah, I mean, Yeah. I mean, even now during Corona, it's like I have a few friends, some you know, some you don't, that when this went down, I was like, I was wondering if this guy's gonna make it, if that guy's gonna make it, because some of my friends are kind of like functional drug addicts, and I know they can't stay in.
Yeah.
I just know they can't stay in. I know that they're gonna socialize, and when you socialize to get high,
Responsible.
you're not really particular who you're around. So I've literally predicted the death of like three people, and they're like
Well, I've got a few
gone.
shockers too. I'm sorry for condolences to you for the
Yeah,
people you've
it's
lost.
like
And it's really, you've described it perfectly. They
it's like
cannot be at state. They cannot be
they
locked in. Just the
can't
mere
stay in.
thought of being told you cannot go out.
They
You
can't
have
go
to
out.
stay.
They
No.
gotta, every their thought of fun is, with substances. They can't conceive of joy without substances.
I have to
And
tell you though, all guys, the people
I
the three
know,
people that I know that are gone, we're not
yeah, all
able
the
to deal with
guys
this.
gone, but I know it's weird. I got a female friend of mine. She just came out of COVID. Like she didn't die,
Yeah.
but and this, yeah, it's crazy. It's
Addiction is at an all-time high, and
addiction.
escapism. But it's not. I really truly
Addiction.
believe.
I shouldn't say this, but addiction has given me more pain and suffering, just family and friends, than even racism. Like,
Wow.
like,
Really, Chris?
I mean, just when I think about people I lost,
Yeah.
like literally just lost. And when I say lost, some of them aren't even dead. You just lost them. Like they're
Lost them.
just
They've lost themselves.
like you, like what you were friends with, the person you were friends with isn't alive anymore.
That person's gone.
They're just
It's just the
another,
empty shell of that person.
yeah, they're just another person, and yeah, you can't, for your own sanity, you can't deal with them anymore.
It's really a hard one because I am in recovery and I can sponsor young people now I can sponsor people now. And, I want to take on the ones that I know really want this. They want to change their lives. They really want to stay sober because you can't, many times in my life, I got into this position of I'm trying to save someone. You can't save them. It's
No,
really,
they gotta really want it, but I still hope.
oh,
I still hope.
well, I remember I'm going to switch to a happier
Let's
subject.
switch to a happier thing.
That the golden age of SNL. I mean, you, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, David Spade, Rob Schneider. I mean, that was a crew.
That was a crew. That was a crew. Hey, drugs again, Chris. But
Oh yes. But I
my
mean,
man.
tell me. I mean, I don't know if you were there. Adam's last show, I came there. He asked me to come on.
I wasn't.
I was there for one little skit.
I was already gone by then. I'd left like a year or 2 years before. But no, it was the best.
How long were you there for?
I was there for 3 years. It was the best 3 years of my life. Those are my best friends in the world. They're my frat brothers. For the rest of my life, those are my boys. Those are my boys. They kind of saved my life because in a weird way, it's like all this. I had a weird, my school experiences. I make fun of it and Everybody Hates Chris, but that was it's very traumatizing to like. Imagine just being a kid and from 2nd grade to 11th grade, no one invited you over to play.
No, that's not nice.
You know what I mean? Like one kid, Davey Moskowitz, but like for your whole life to like be a total.
So you were like a loner?
Excuse me?
You were like a loner?
I wasn't a loner. I was just a nigga. I was just going to all
So
white.
you went to a white school.
Yeah, I got bused to like white schools, and that's what was happening back then. And so anyway, to go to this all white environment that SNL was, and get treated so well, and so welcoming, respected, and it was like school in a sense. I learned a lot. I learned how to write comedy. I learned how to write on a deadline. I learned how to produce. I learned how to cast. I learned, what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
learned a lot. I learned different types of humor.
Yeah.
It was like the X-Men school, I like to call it.
It's nice to have a routine, no?
Yeah.
When you have a routine and then you build a family with that routine, it's a great experience.
Even the people I wasn't like particularly friends with, you just learn that, like Mike Myers, wasn't like we hung out or anything, but god damn, that guy was like a genius. And be able to like watch a guy like that, or Phil Hartman, or even Dennis Miller. These guys were like
Dennis Miller, God, I remember Dennis Miller. He used to host MTV Awards.
Yeah, so it was like I went to I was like the Harvard of comedy,
Absolutely. And now, did you continue? Did you write for them even when you were not on screen afterwards? Or
no. Once I got off, I was trying to write my own movies and stuff, and But you know what? That's weird though. It's weird you say that. Every now and then, I'm home and something comes up, and I'm like, I write down a joke. Sometimes I'll call Jimmy Fallon or Seth Meyers, or even when Jimmy was on Weekend Update or whatever, and I'll send somebody a joke.
Yeah.
Or
they say them?
Sometimes, Bill Maher, whoever, like, hey, here's a joke. You just text them a joke, and it's like, hey.
So, do you write things down when you're doing stand-up comedy, or how do you rehearse? I don't want you to give your secret away, but
we've hung out. I go to the clubs, or you've been with Eddie or whatever, and I just work it out, and I go to little clubs and just work it out for like, 3 months, 4 months.
So you do kind of tests.
Yeah, you do a lot of tests. You can't just show up at Madison Square Garden and hope with your fingers crossed. You better rehearse it a little bit. But I work.
I missed you again another night because you and Dave had gone and done a test, and I saw him the day after. Dave Chappelle we're talking about.
Right.
And you don't tell them you're coming, the audience. You just show up, right?
Yeah, you just show up. And you just try out your stuff, and
What a treat.
I miss it so much. Pandemic. I miss getting on stage. Dave's doing something in Ohio. It's like he literally has a stage in a cornfield, so it's open air.
Yeah.
So
I know I've been to Ohio. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was a sous. What's one of the little one's name? I was his sous chef.
Yeah.
Davon? No, not Davon.
Oh, you mean oh man, oh god.
He was on Chappelle's show with Dave.
Yeah, Ashley Larry, yeah.
So I was his sous chef.
Darnell.
I love the whole thing in the bar, and it's magical. You don't know what's gonna happen. I saw that you were there, and I saw that you were there 2 days ago.
Yeah, I went out. I've been a couple of times now. We hung out. We did mushrooms.
But it's good to keep your juices flowing, and it's great also to be with each other and support each other through this.
Yeah, and he's got one of those rapid testing stations, and so we get tested and we just hang out. It's kind of
That's
cool.
wonderful. It helps. I'm sure it helps. I mean, what I love about you and Dave Chappelle, particularly the two of you, you're not in the same arena as the others, because what you say, it's what's happening today. It's truthful, it's factual, but you turn it into a way that it's, has a humor to it, but it stays on your mind. It doesn't leave. You walk out saying, oh my God, but it's true, it's right.
Thank you. Just, trying to keep it interesting, trying to, my idols are comedians, of course, Eddie, Richard Pryor, but I also grew up really loving Chuck D and really loving KRS-One and really loving Ice Cube and like really let those guys they influenced me just as much as any comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So
I used to go to Public Enemy concerts back in the day in New York. Palladium.
I remember you at the Palladium.
My God, those concerts were amazing.
I remember you.
They were amazing.
All used to hang out.
Dougie Fresh.
Yes.
Loved, so good. So when you get offered to do the Oscars, how do you prepare for that? Because things are changing, current things are coming up.
I mean, I just relocate to LA, because you want to feel that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like, okay, I'm gonna check into the chateau. I'm gonna rent a convertible. I'm gonna, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have.
Do you do all of the Oscar lunches and things running up to the Oscars, or you're busy rehearsing?
I did it with Steve Martin, whatever, like the last Oscars, and I had a bungalow in the back, and it's like let's go hard. Let's hard. I don't know if I'm doing this again, so let's.
But wait, everybody, so you know, Chris can say let's go hard, but Chris does not stay out that late. You do not, Chris.
Yeah, I'm. I'm like, Naomi, when we start dating, okay, just want you to know, I can hang out. I'm good for 5 late nights a year. 5 late nights. I'll give you 5, 6 o'clock in the mornings, whatever. And New Year's Eve. So that's 7. Yeah. And if your birthday falls on a Saturday, I'll give you that.
So that has to fall on a Saturday. Yeah. Well, actually, the next one does fall on a Saturday. Okay. 51 falls on a Saturday.
8 crazy nights a year. And then we got.
So then, when the last Oscars you did, was it the Oscars that, if I'm recollecting correctly, that had very few people of color in any categories?
Like one of those Oscars so white. It's weird because when I took the job, they didn't. The nominees hadn't even been announced yet. So I went from just being the host of the Oscars to being the host of the most controversial Oscars.
Yes,
and
it was.
Quit and all this stuff, and I don't know. I thought it turned out pretty good. We had a pretty good Oscars that night.
Well, you were very direct and blunt and straightforward. You didn't mince your words at all.
No, it's it's a great platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you got the Super Bowl and the Oscars, so you get to perform in front of like 40 million people. Like,
do you remember when, there's a clipping I've seen many times when Marlon Brando didn't go to pick up his award and he sent the American Native Indian lady to speak about how they'd been treated. And I remember after that, there were no more activists allowed to pick up other people's awards.
If I'm ever nominated, I'm going to send Cardi B to pick up my award. Have Cardi give
Tell me why. Are you and Cardi friends?
What's weird? Me and Cardi are really cool. I'm a good talent scout. About, I'm going to say 5 years ago or 4 years ago, before she had a record out, I'd seen Cardi on, I think, Instagram or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I had my people reach out to her management, and we had a meeting about her doing a comedy show. I thought she was the funniest woman I'd probably ever seen. So
she's great. She's once again funny and honest.
Oh, I didn't know she rapped at all. I was just like, yo, how do we sit down and figure out a show?
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't get Comedy Central and people to jump on. They just didn't get it. But so yeah, I know.
Either they didn't get it or they just didn't want to take the risk.
They didn't,
which is ridiculous
at the time. They just.
I know, but we gotta give the new ones a chance.
Oh, I know. And it's weird. They honestly, I mean, you know what happened? It was like, I ended up producing the Robin Thede show. Robin's lovely. She's really, she has the black girl sketch show, but
Yeah.
the reality, she's in Robin's easier for white people to digest.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality was, I tried to get Cardi to,
Cardi.
and I couldn't get it done.
I really do believe we're going to see more
That's
of
the
Cardi B on the
that's the
screen.
real scoop. I tried to produce Cardi. I tried to do a
You
Cardi
okay? You heard it here first on
I
No Filter.
B show, and you know that's just how the business
Chris
works.
saw Cardi B and saw the
But she was
talent in her before
hysterical.
anyone
And,
else.
and by the
It's
way, I
exclusive.
still think Cardi B is the funniest comedian in the world. Cardi B's funny.
I mean, listen, Chris, I know this is not, I mean, it's not a fun situation that we're in the world. But for me, when I'm going to look back on 2020, what goes through my mind? No doubt. Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
It's like, it just does.
I haven't been as funny as Cardi B in years. Like Cardi B is
We
genius.
love you, Cardi B.
Cardi B, like, yo, is a comedic genius.
So, do you have to work on a spare of the moment sometimes in
Sometimes, yeah,
situations like Oscars?
yeah. Sometimes, you mean you watch the show and you adjust.
Yes, you
Make
adjust. So you adapt very quickly to a situation.
adjustments, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like sometimes being a comedic actor, everything has its ups and downs, but do you feel like people it's a pressure that people expect you to be funny just when you go someplace and you're just being you?
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
You know what? I'm older now, so I kind of don't look at it as pressure. I just realize, people like to laugh.
Yeah.
Think about life. What's the most joy you can give to somebody? Well, sex or laughter. And people actually break up with people they have sex with. No one breaks up with people that make them laugh.
That's very true. It's very true. Why do you like him? He makes me laugh.
This is shit. This is some, people give you the best sex ever. You're like, I can't take this motherfucker. But like,
Oh my gosh.
but anybody that you can count on for a laugh, you will bend over backwards to make sure they are in your life.
Well, it's very important. I mean, even more so now than ever before. So what you're doing, I mean, you're in Chicago now, right? Are you doing something there?
I'm in quarantine. I guess in about a week, I'm going to finish up the last season of Fargo, the new season of Fargo.
Okay. So back to work.
Yeah. So I'm in quarantine. I'm in a hotel room by myself. And
I know Chicago a little bit from when I was to do Empire. I mean, there's some great restaurants.
I can't go anywhere.
But they can get it delivered for you.
Deliver. So text me any place I should
Okay,
order.
there's some good restaurants in Chicago. They have good restaurants.
I am literally, all I have is my room for
My God.
7 days.
When you have to stay there a week before you can go on set.
Yep.
That's, God, the discipline of this. When we come out of this, God, we're all going to be so much different, so much more disciplined. So, next question. So you just answered that for me. You're doing quarantine right now.
Yeah, I'm doing quarantine.
What else has comedy helped you with in the world? In like when you travel, when you go to other countries? I mean, you've done the African continent, right?
I've done the African continent. Played it. They
How was that?
for me at the airport. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life playing Africa. It's like
they must have just grabbed onto you, loved on you.
The love I got in the continent, it was unbelievable. I can't wait to do it again because it was incredible. It was you know what I mean? Like
the appreciation of just and it's real. It's so real.
Everything you've ever done, you're like, wow, okay. I have God has really blessed me.
You went all over? East,
I haven't
West,
really done East. I've been all over. I have only performed in South Africa.
and
So
South.
when this is all over, I'm gonna tour. I think me and Dave are gonna tour together.
Because
And
Dave really wants to go to Kenya.
yeah, we're gonna tour together, and we're hitting it all.
Oh no, you got to do East, West, South,
Yes.
North. You got to do the whole continent. Oh, that'd be amazing. Giving people that joy to laugh, and that'd be such a great gift after this challenging time the world has been through.
Yeah.
With what's happening now, I saw you say something. Tell me, I saw a video when I was rushing to get here from the beach. What was that about Busta Rhymes?
Oh, he's got a new record coming out, and he's like, I don't know. He had me shoot that a while back. I don't know. I love Busta. Whatever Busta.
Love Busta.
Whatever wants. I
was like, damn, that's so you're supporting his new single album.
You know what? I've learned it's like this year for me. So I've been doing a lot of therapy, and
before COVID.
Right before it, but I even intensified it during it. So I'm doing I got 2 shrinks, I got a learning specialist, and I do a group. I do about 7, almost 8 hours a week of therapy.
That's wonderful.
And in my life, I'm just saying yes to everything right now. I've just been a lot of times you get this celebrity and you don't feel like you deserve it, and you hold on tight to it.
Never hold on tight. You gotta
well, Buster, you want some? Yeah, sure. Oh, Naomi's calling? Yeah, sure. I'm like, just whatever. People want money,
I feel like you're sharing yourself with all of us. And me, I'm so happy. I couldn't believe. I was like, Chris said yes.
I used to literally overthink everything, and I'm kind of saying yes to just about everything, and it's fun. And I don't have this attitude like I'm going to be a has-been tomorrow. I'm going to lose everything. I'm not living in fear like I was. So
you're legendary, Chris.
It's very freeing. It's very
And let me ask you, do you like in our fashion world, we know all the fashion, new young ones coming in. Is it the same in the comedy world? You know who the young ones coming in, or you hear someone who's got a buzz?
I watch them all, and I try to befriend everybody, and I welcome. By the way, I also welcome their notes.
That's wonderful.
I'm like, hey, Gerard Carmichael, I need you to watch my set and tell me what's wrong.
You trust their instinct.
Yeah, because when I would, hey man, I remember Eddie. I remember giving Eddie notes. I wasn't even famous.
We're talking about Eddie Murphy, right?
Eddie Murphy, and he was getting ready to go on tour, and I'm on the side watching, and I would go, hey, you ever think about this? And he would do the shit. Part of being great or being good is just the ability to listen to everybody a little bit. You don't have to.
Now, did you write for Eddie for a while?
Just a sounding board or I might have one joke in Raw. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't consider it writing. I just consider it just
because you were in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, I was in Cop 2. It's like musicians. If you happen to be in a studio and you
jam together
and say something and it ends up in the record, it's not all, you don't get credit for everything, but you want to contribute to the atmosphere.
But it's nice to want to contribute, and I hope that's what this new world and reset will bring, is that we will collaborate, unite, share with each other, and contribute to each other. I hope that's what I hope it brings.
Yeah,
without
I'm saying yes to a lot, and I'm just hopefully we'll see where this takes me. The yes journey.
But you sound like you're in a very good place.
I'm in a good place, Naomi. Quarantine's weird. If you can find me a girl, that'd be lovely.
Love's gonna come because you're so clear now. And what's most important, Chris, is you're working on yourself. A lot of people don't have the courage to look in the mirror and then say, I want to work on myself. They have a fear. It takes a lot of courage.
I just learned to swim. It took me 2 months of like.
I can't float.
Naomi, that'll teach you if you really want. And
what is it? I can't relax my head. It's not about the hair.
Naomi, I
can't float.
I mean, I shouldn't be jumping in the ocean, but I can now jump in a pool and get from one end to the other, and I can float, and like learning to swim mentally was more, it's so freeing, more than any of these shrinks.
Yeah. It's freeing. You said the word.
It's very freeing. So yeah, I've really used my quarantine for good. And I'm,
you really have. You have been like doing all the things you've ever wanted to do.
Yeah. So,
I can dive, but I cannot float. But I have no problem to have my head under the water. Love it. It's just the floating thing. I don't know why a lot of our culture can't swim.
No, less buoyant.
That's what I was going to say. We have a different bone density.
But yeah, I mean,
is that an excuse though?
No. You can. It's. I'm telling you, take lessons, but you gotta like really commit to like 90 days of it.
You gotta do it constant.
Yeah. Which is, I got a pool in my backyard, and I had it heated, and like I just like and yeah. That's the biggest.
That's a wonderful sense of achievement to have.
That's my biggest.
You are doing it. You are using this time so well.
I'm using this time very well. So
I saw the SNL, which talking about unity of all of you and the names we've mentioned today. It was, I guess, when Eddie hosted and coming back after not being there for years. What was that like for you going back there? For the anniversary.
Amazing, because I remember watching Eddie with my mother. My dad would be working on a Saturday night, and me and my mother and my brothers would watch Eddie, and it was like the greatest thing ever. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, I want to be that. I want to be like that guy. So to stand on that stage with that guy that night, and by the way, he was so funny. I got to hang out with him the whole week, honestly. So I got to see him even be a little nervous here and there.
So can I just ask, did you have all carte blanche? Like Lorne Michaels didn't say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say this. It was
no, it was all carte blanche. I mean, they know we're not going to curse. So, but it was a good week. I had a good Eddie week. We had lots of what I mean? Because I hadn't spent that much time with him in a decade. You know what I mean?
That must have been a lot of fun to catch up.
Maybe even 20 years. I hadn't really since I was under his fucking back in the
guidance.
So
Chris.
yeah, when I was damn near Fedorov. You know what I mean? I was.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was amazing. It was amazing.
So is there any young ones that you got an eye on, or you think that's coming up? And
I mean, me and Dave, we love this Gerard Carmichael guy. He's not like a kid anymore, but he's really funny. I'm messing up this guy Kabuki. He's light-skinned gay guy. He's really funny. I will kill his name. I don't want to mess up his name.
So do you think, will you control that and put them on something that you do?
I mean, if I'm going to probably direct something in the near future.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, because there's not going to be any touring, at least until 2022. So I'm finishing up a script, and hopefully I'll direct it, before the year's out. You got to set up all this stuff. And yeah, even in top 5, I had a bunch of young comedians in it. So yeah, I'm gearing up to go.
You're gearing up to go. Chris Rock is booked and busy. I love that. He's busy. But I just love all the things you're doing spiritually to improve on yourself, because it's just so, that for me is just magical. It's magical. And may I ask you, how's fatherhood treating you, your lovely girls?
Great, man. My oldest, Lola's getting ready to go to college, American University of Paris.
Oh, fantastic. I know that school.
Yeah, Gianni went there.
Yeah, Johnny and Lee's daughter.
Yeah. So she's getting ready to start school in Paris. Zara is a freshman, sophomore. She's going to be a junior this year. And,
Well, that's a big deal. So is Daddy taking her to Paris? Daddy going to take her to get her settled in?
Paris because of Americans aren't allowed in. But I'll figure it out. And, yeah, so, we're figuring out. It's like the new world order. Lola's going to be in Paris. I think I may be moving to LA. I'm trying to figure it out now. Because I don't really want to do COVID in the winter. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I want to be somewhere where I can take a hike or whatever.
You're thinking smart to think ahead that far like that.
Already. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to look at houses, try to rent me a nice spot. There'll be a room for you, Naomi.
Thank you, Chris. I'm taking.
There'll be a room.
There'll
be a pool, and there'll be someone to give you lessons.
I can cook. I know how to cook.
Okay.
Can you cook? What did you do during COVID? You cooked. You ordered in. What did you do?
I ordered in. I mean, I had my Lola cooks a little bit, but yeah, man, this was a weird time for me, but it's good. It's a growing time. I feel like, I don't know, it feels like I got my brain back.
I want to say to you, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I really hope I can get to Ohio when you and Dave are there again together.
Hit me up when you're in the States. And
I will. When I get back stateside, I'll hit you up.
Hit me up.
I absolutely will. But I thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for just being you. And you've been inspiring to me talking to you today. Thank you.
We're going to get you swimming.
Yes, swimming. Love you, Chris Rock.
Love you.
Thank you so much, legend. Thank you.
All right. You take care.
You too. God bless. Bye, darling.
Bye.